Hello fellow modelers, in today's video I'll be showing you how I painted and weathered Dragon's 1/35 scale mouse. Before we begin, I'd like to make a small disclaimer. This model was given to me by a friend who had this model sitting in his stash for years. However, the kit was missing the instructions and some pieces. Other than that, all the sprues were mostly intact. I had to build this model completely out of order, so you may see a few inaccuracies here and there. Do tell me in the comments if I've gotten anything wrong, or just tell me your overall opinions. Alright, back to the video. To start painting, we'll need a primer. I'm using Vallejo's black primer straight from the bottle. I've chosen Dunkelgelb for the main color of the hull. This is thinned with MIG's acrylic thinner. I wanted to keep the barrel black, so I masked it off before I painted the turret. Speaking of which, I'm using MIG's burnt brown red because I don't have oxide red paint. As for the camo stripes, I'm using Rosetta Green. Moving on to detail painting. I'm using matte white and acrylic thinner for the white markings on the turret. The markings are completely fictional, so you can draw whatever you find looks good on your model. You will need a very precise brush for this task. I'm adding streaks of excess paint here and there to make it look like it was hastily applied. And here is the result. Now it's time to weather the tank, starting off with chipping. For the first layer of chips, I'm using the same Dunkelgelb paint and I'm applying it on with a sponge. This will represent shallow chips. The paint was thinned down using a 1:1 ratio. This was also thinned down with a 1:1 ratio. I'm now using a precise brush to paint the deeper chips on the whole. I'm now applying a rust wash using MIG's Streaking Grime directly from the bottle. The excess will be faded using odorless enamel thinner. As you can see, I'm adding the wash onto the deep chips. Then I wet my brush with thinner and fade out the edges. The Streaking Grime wash is then used to weather the visible areas of the tracks, which are mainly the front and back, plus the edges of the bottom tracks. The turret is given the same treatment. And here's the result. It's pretty rusty, if I do say so myself. Now for mud effects. I'm using MIG's Turned Earth for its color and to create mud with some volume. You can make your own mud with plaster powder like I've always done before, but I'm just testing this out for the first time. I'm blotching it on with a dry brush and will feather the edges with an enamel thinner. Besides the lower hull, the visible areas of the tracks will also need some mud. I'm now using MIG's New Wood and Gray Highlight to create a light dirt and dust wash. Note that this mixture is acrylic based, so you'll need to work fast and in small sections, otherwise the paint will dry up and you won't be able to blend it out anymore. For any excess paint, I'm using regular tap water to blend it out. After all that dries, it's time for a panel wash to make the panel line stand out. I'm using MIG's Interiors wash as somewhat of a brown panel liner. For areas where the brown panel liner isn't strong enough, I'm switching to MIG's PLW Black Knight. This watch can also be used to create oil stains and residue. As for the turret, the black panel liner is really important to emphasize weld seams. It's now time for the final touches. I'm mixing matte black and matte white to create a gray for the vision ports. Moving on, I'm using MIG's steel paint to further emphasize the weld beads and simulate chipping. Areas like the cannon barrel need a darker metallic color. As such, I'm using a 2H pencil. And for places that the pencil is just too slow to cover such a large area, I'm using MIG's gunmetal pigment and a soft tip brush. The track should only have this applied on random exposed areas. Lastly, I'm using MIG's wet effects on small patches of oil residue that I've previously painted so it reflects light and still looks wet. And that's about it for the painting and weathering processes. I hope I was able to teach you something new and was able to present this video in a shorter and a more enjoyable manner. If you have anything to say, leave your comment down below and please consider subscribing as it helps me immensely. Anyways, thank you for watching and here is the completed model.